China's 3C, computer, communication, and the customer electronics industry has dramatically transformed since the country's economic reforms began.
On August 26, 1980, the Shenzhen Special Economic Zone was established. In 40 years, the global tech industry underwent several reshuffles, with titans like Nokia, Yahoo, and Kodak falling from grace. During this time, Shenzhen's science and technology industries went through multiple transformations, with companies like Huawei, Tencent, and DJI rising rapidly. Today, Shenzhen, home to 138 listed tech companies, can be said to hold up half the sky of China's tech industry. If there was a starting point for all of this, it would likely be the establishment of the SEG electronics market in Shenzhen 8 years after the Special Economic Zone was formed to solve the supply chain issues of the electronic information industry. Following that, the surrounding areas became known as Huaqiang Bay, famously associated with imitation goods. However, Huaqiang Bay is not just about imitations, it's a misunderstanding of China's tech industry. In fact, from The Big Bang Theory's Season 8 Episode 22, where Sheldon and Howard play with a DJI Phantom drone, to it being the brand that holds a 77% market share in the US consumer drone market, DJI's success is indicative of China's tech prowess. Beyond technological capabilities and business models, one major advantage of DJI lies in cost. In addition to the core components mentioned earlier, the basic raw materials for drones include carbon fiber, silicon sheets, various plastic electric strips, motor propellers, high-density batteries, remote controllers, power supply modules, etc. Additionally, cameras, gimbals, and wireless transmission systems are needed to support aerial photography. A drone requires hundreds of parts, backed by a vast network of suppliers. American startup drone companies like Lilay and 3DR have yet to solve their supply chain problems. In Huaqiang Bay, it's said that behind every counter stands a factory or an agent. When DJI was first established, it only focused on R&D without production and looked online for manufacturers of drone parts. In Shenzhen, with its Huaqiang Bay district, even a single drone screw can attract bids from 5 to 10 companies. It's no exaggeration to say that an ordinary person could buy the basic raw materials in Huaqiang Bay and DIY their own drone. The comprehensive supplier network in Huaqiang Bay gives DJI a cost advantage that its foreign competitors can't match, subsequently making it the sole giant in the American consumer drone market. Beyond offering cost advantages, Huaqiang Bay also provides a time-to-market advantage for tech companies. With custom technologies like dark skin beauty mode and 4 SIM card slots, Transsion, which started out making knockoff phones, is now called the king of mobile phones in Africa. In the first quarter of 2020, Transsion held the highest market share in the African smartphone market, nearly double that of second-place Samsung. Objectively speaking, technologies like dark skin beauty mode and support for multiple SIM cards are not high barriers to entry, but this kind of practical hardware product innovation, which is easily achieved in Shenzhen, is hard to come by in Silicon Valley. That's because the difficulty in hardware innovation lies not just in technical R&D, but also in the ability to rapidly produce a physical product. When HAX, the world's largest hardware startup accelerator, settled in Shenzhen in 2012, its managing director Xi said that if you come up with an idea but have to wait 5 days or even 2 weeks to act on it, it's no longer innovation. You must be able to enter into trials immediately and continue trying. This vigor is absent in the US, only visible in Shenzhen. He compiled a set of numbers. A product that costs $600 and takes 3 months to produce in the US can be made in Shenzhen for $200 in 6 weeks. For innovative companies, Shenzhen not only has suppliers like Huawei, but also has experienced manufacturers like Foxconn and BYD, ensuring speedy prototyping, assembly, and production, as well as shipping. This gives local companies a time advantage in being the first to trial and mass produce new technologies. It can be said that Shenzhen's ability to produce technology hardware products like the smartphone brands Oppo, OnePlus, Transsion, and DJI drones is determined by the genes bestowed by Huaqiang Bay. In the second quarter of this year, Huawei surpassed Samsung for the first time to become the brand with the highest global smartphone shipments. Moreover, in the Huawei P40 series released in March this year, almost all components of the phone were provided by Chinese suppliers. However, the process of forming this all-Chinese team was much more challenging than imagined. In 2014, when Huawei was about to launch the Mate 70, it scoured domestic suppliers for a fingerprint recognition solution, but ultimately due to technical issues, it chose the solution and products of the Swedish company FTC at an extra cost of about 100 yuan per chip over domestic suppliers. FTC then captured orders for most Chinese smartphone brands, with its business volume growing 20-fold within 2 years. It wasn't until 2017 that Goodix Technology from Shenzhen became the main supplier for the fingerprint recognition solution for the Huawei Mate 10 and P10. That year, Goodix R&D expenditures reached 597 million yuan, an increase of 93.73% over the previous year, and accounted for as much as 16.2% of its sales revenue. A similar story is that of Allfilm, also from Shenzhen. In 2014, Allfilm started assembling cameras for mid to low-end domestic smartphones until 2017, when, thanks to its early positioning and R&D in most module aspects, it replaced Taiwan's Lug and Precision and became the main supplier of camera modules for Huawei, also helping to lead the trend for most smartphones. We like to think of Huawei as a benchmark for Chinese technological innovation, but it's not just the efforts of Huawei alone that have shaped the technology industry in China today. Behind it are many domestic suppliers like Goodix and Allfilm that continue to significantly scale up their R&D investments. After the last decade's smartphone revolution, the reputation of Huaqiang Bay for producing knockoffs has significantly diminished, with many manufacturers lacking core capabilities being gradually phased out. However, from the perspective of the laws of industrial upgrading, it is precisely the rapid iteration and fierce competition that occurred after Huaqiang Bay reached a certain scale that forced companies to focus on R&D, leading to the emergence of more and more leading companies with core technologies and the ability to command a premium. 40 years ago, on August 26th, with the establishment of the Shenzhen Special Economic Zone, no one could have imagined that Huawei selling switchboards, Tencent coding, Foxconn in contract manufacturing, BYD making batteries, DJI working on drones, and others would appear in Shenzhen in different forms and become intertwined with Huaqiang Bay. In the years that followed, they each experienced shifts in strategic focus and ultimately supported half the sky of China's technology industry. Today, excluding Huawei, the total market value of Shenzhen-listed technology companies has exceeded 6 trillion yuan. If there is an origin to this era, I believe it is the establishment of the SEG electronics market in Shenzhen 8 years after the creation of the Special Economic Zone to address the supply chain issues of the electronic information industry. Since then, the surrounding area has gradually become known by the name of Huaqiang Bay. Over 40 years, Shenzhen has stood tall and Huaqiang Bay lives on.